Hi, lovers and leaders. How are you? Welcome to another time with me, Dr. Sarah. I recently watched the first episode that just dropped recently, Housewives of Salt Lake City. All right, and you can actually get the free episode if you don't have any other platform to watch these Bravo shows. YouTube, on the Bravo YouTube channel, they just dropped the first episode of the Housewives of Salt Lake City. Now, I did not watch the previous season, just to let you know, just clips here and there. But I have to say, for this episode, the first one, I'll give it a solid 8 out of 10. They gave me engagement. They gave me Angie. I love Angie. She has definitely grown on me. She's a sweetheart. She's such a nurturer. I mean, I love how like carefree she is. I love how she can like pivot in very contentious conversations. And I love how like when they're trying to gang up her on her, especially Heather, she just has this face of just stunned and she doesn't know what to do next. And then she tries to backpedal. And then she just tries to move forward, okay? She just tries to move forward. Like Heather used to be one of my favorites early on in Housewives, but Angie definitely is the one for me now. And you know what I found really interesting is that, you know, when they on the actual show they showed the girls together holding the flakes, Angie is like in the middle and in the front. She is the top dog, top lady. Like, when did that happen? Like, I thought it used to be like Lisa, wouldn't it? Wasn't it used to be Lisa? But now it's Angie. I'm like, wow. I don't know what happened last season and the season before, but she's like the favorite. And I'm like, bravo to her. I just love how like she could be funny and sweet and pivot. And I really have to say, I love how she fights for her friends, her friendships, especially with Mary, okay? But in this episode, they basically go on a girls' trip to, you know, camping girls' trip. And Lisa's really, I'm not Lisa. Lisa didn't come, by the way. She was not there. She was not there. She had a work thing, apparently. Seeing a Ben Affleck and Blake Lively. What, Lisa? Oh. And well, the other reason was a B reason. She doesn't want to be there because of Bronwyn. So anyway, the ladies in general seemed to be happy to see each other in this episode. They were ready for a girls' trip. I love that they, of course, you know, Salt Lake City, it's cold, so they geared up. And by the way, I loved Heather's snow boots and Bronwyn's snow boots. They were really different and really cute. I loved them. If you guys saw their snow boots and you know what I'm talking about, let me know in the comment section, because I love those snow boots. I thought they were so cute and animated. So really the highlights I would say for this episode for me was the transparency of our good redhead sis Whitney. All right, she's now a redhead, and after some provocation from Brittany, which I'm still acquiescing to her personality, she basically said that yeah, her business that she had with her husband is completely tanked, it's completely failed, right? And I felt so bad for her because I believe one of the seasons I watched, she was doing a jewelry business, wasn't she? Was it a jewelry business she had? But I know there was like a beauty business that she also was trying to do. But anyway, the business that she had, you know, the show showed clips from social media that she had like a MLM scheme, you know, and it just didn't go well. So, you know, Brittany wanted to poke her with that and let her know that she knew about, you know, via social media. But yeah, Whitney stood on business and she was like, yeah, it didn't work out. I'm sure they lost a lot of money. They had to fire all their employees. So of course that was heartbreaking for her. She didn't actually want to talk about it, but she was open about it anyway. And I loved how she was just honest that she really thought it was going to work and it didn't. And of course, the heartbreak of having to let go of um, employees. And then Heather, at some point during the conversation, was like, you know what? Before her success of Beauty Lab that she has, Heather, she says she tried many businesses that failed, and many people don't get to, or many people don't talk about the failures before the wins. And I thought that was so, so honest of Heather, because the reality is in life, those of you who are entrepreneurs, those of you who are creative beings, you have so many ideas, you're going to try something once and it's going to fail. I've done those things, tried, it didn't work out. It just didn't align with me, or I just didn't get excited about it. But I haven't lost that much money. But the reality is, Whitney and her husband obviously invested a lot. She didn't really dig deep into why the business got tanked. Maybe later on in the season we'll find out. But these MLM schemes, it's only a few of them are very, very successful. To be fair, there's only a few of them are very, very successful. Like I know one that one of my family members have been in for a while, Mary Kay. That's an MLM scheme. So there's only a few that really have this long, long tenure. So I would be curious to see what happened to Whitney's business. I really would, because that's sad. Any other highlights in this episode? Brittany. Brittany gives an announcement at the picnic table at the campsite. And she says she has an announcement. I have an announcement, everyone. And then she says, her man, I forgot his name, proposed to her, right? And they're engaged. She literally said, I'm engaged. And then she says, and now we're not engaged. But sidebar, when she said to the girls that she's engaged, like not one of them congratulate her at all. They just kind of look stunned. I think Angie kind of did something. I forgot. But she at least acknowledged, right? But for the most part, they were all like, or looking down, like a Meredith looked down, didn't care. Mary looked down, didn't care. They don't like this Brittany. I don't know what happened last season that much. Why they don't like this Brittany, but I know for the most part, most of them don't like her because of her alliance or allegiance, her friendship with Lisa Barlow, okay? But yeah, and Heather's so funny. So after when Brittany said that she was engaged, and then she said she's not engaged, right? Heather's so funny. She was like, Brittany doesn't know what an announcement is, okay? If you make an announcement that you're engaged and then you're not engaged, you shouldn't actually make that announcement again. And this is what I'm trying to tell you about, or what I was thinking about Brittany. She, throughout this whole episode, she just wants to be the center of attention, and she wants the cameras on her, right? Because why would you tell everybody you got engaged and then you didn't get engaged? Well, you were disengaged. And the reason why the engagement broke is because both of them, her and her man, they have kids, and the kids were just not with it. The kids did not give the blessing. The kids did not say yes to the dress, not yes to the ring. The kids were not in alignment, and they both honored their kids and said, okay, we'll break the engagement. I'd be curious to know why the kids didn't want it. But anyway, the girls were like, are you still seeing him? Blah, blah, blah. And she was like, yeah, I'm still seeing him. Wow. But they still didn't care. They didn't give it no mind. They didn't really care at all. Any other highlights? All right, so while they were on the camping trip, Angie had 2 teams. One went off to do fly fishing, which seemed really boring, by the way. Mary didn't know what she was doing at all, and nor did Meredith. And then the other group went to do kayaking, which I love that. I love that kind of stuff, canoeing. That looks really fun. you saw that Whitney basically went on the kayak by herself, and she basically made Bronwyn and Heather get in a kayak together, like a twin kayak, because both of them are, there's a bit of contention there. But interestingly, Bronwyn being, sitting behind Heather, and Heather taking the lead, and Heather taking all the nature, and she loves nature. She kept saying she loves nature, and they were talking and just appreciating nature. They really got along really, really well. They really got along really, really well. So that was nice. Later on, they had like I guess like a dinner, trying to put dinner together. Angie was like, yeah, we're making dinner by ourselves. Mary didn't like that. Mary's bougie. Mind you, she's the co-host. So I'm just thinking, like, did you not plan this with Angie? Or did Angie just stick you on as a co-host? Just because Angie's just such a good friend, right? I don't understand. Because she didn't like the idea of them making their own food at all. Anyway, during the sit down when they were making their own food and eating, I would say the highlights in that conversation was Heather just bringing some attention to the fact that her and Bronwyn were getting along pretty well. Okay, so she was, wanted everyone to see that. Okay, and acknowledge it was likely the kayaking and the nature of it all. And then you got Angie basically speculating, to Heather, do you think you and Bronwyn are getting along really well because Lisa Barlow is not around, right? And Heather got really ticked off by that for some reason. Because look at Heather done said, okay, that she and Lisa are getting on well. They've been working on their friendship. And Heather does not want to talk about Lisa when Lisa's not there. That's the thing about Heather. So she clapped back with Angie and clapped back with whoever else is trying to make her talk about Lisa behind her back. She's like, no, you are not getting me to be divisive against Lisa. I don't understand. I feel like sometimes, for the most part, in these reality shows, you got one woman that people have a fear about. They just have a fear to like ruffle feathers with this one person, and for Salt Lake City it seems to be Lisa. And one of the conversations that came up with the girls was that Lisa doesn't mind talking about their issues and their financial issues, or their gossip, things that she hears in the gossip blogs, but nobody could talk about her stuff. So I think that's what the real contention is. So there's that. All right. And yeah, I mean, Meredith, she was given a little bit, but not really much. But we'll see what happens for the rest of this season, all right? But I do love the vibe. I do love the camping. I do love the outdoorsy. I am team Angie right now. Like, she just gives girls, and that soft nature. For me, I just love it. And I feel like she just gives this warmness to everyone. I'm just loving Angie. Maybe this is why she's like the head snowflake right now. I don't know. Anyway, the episode ends with Heather bringing up this mysterious story. Let me see. This mysterious story in this Provo Canyon region to do with a Molly Swarenstein. She apparently came from a polygamous home, and I guess she left that polygamous cult, and basically at this campsite it was known that some weird stuff was happening. Girls who this Molly knew were sinning. She would do some weird stuff with these girls, all right? And that's like the legend, that's the story, that's the mystery. So anyway, Heather, because she's kind of cuckoo and extra, in the middle of the night, after eating, she gets the girls to walk through the woods with her. Anyway, it just looked like they were hearing voices, blah, blah, blah. Meredith is getting scared. She's like, I don't want to be here. I don't have any reception on my phone. She wants to get away. And then we've got Whitney then yelling at Heather, you brought us here, you brought us here. But my thing is, Whitney, you went there. So that's how episode 1 ended. There was a lot of little bits and bobs and things here and there, but it keeps you engaged. So check it out if you haven't already. All right, this was season 6, episode 1. I give it a solid 8. Let me know what you give it, all right? And let's see what happens in the next episode. Hopefully we see Lisa clocked in. Okay, Lisa? Hopefully we see you clocked in and showing up on our screen, okay? Until next time, girlies and guys, all right? Give me a thumbs up before you leave. Let me know what you thought in the comment section, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.